Hello, fellow Gentiles. Welcome back to another video. Today we will be talking. Well, this is not a we situation. I will be talking about Bigfoot and the Bible. And if you have something to say, that's too bad. I didn't ask. So, I've always been interested in Bigfoot. Always wondered if I could catch Bigfoot. Thankfully, my doctor told me it was not a disease. So, I've been doing research on the actual critter. So, unlike a smart blonde, sightings of Bigfoot have actually been recorded. So Bigfoot sightings are very plentiful. They go way back for centuries. This is a map from 2013. It seems most common sightings of Bigfoot are in America, more around Washington, obviously, in America, because if it was anywhere else, he would be Big Meter. But anyway, so these sightings go way back a long time. So Teddy Roosevelt, 1893. Teddy Roosevelt was all over. He was a hunter. He's out in the West and stuff like. He's a cool guy. Anyway, sort of. Who cares? Anyway, he met this guy Bowman, and Bowman told Roosevelt about the story he had of an encounter with Bigfoot. So you can read this in his book, The Wilderness Hunter. Stepping forward, he again shouted as he did so. His eye fell on the body of his friend, stretched beside the trunk of a fallen spruce. The neck was broken. Footprints of an unknown beast creature in the soft soil. Also, Teddy Roosevelt mentions this guy Bowman, or maybe it's Bauman, I don't know, and I don't care. But this dude was like really nervous while telling this story. But back then, they hadn't fully developed the best item to prevent from Bigfoot attacks. We have it today, a camera. But anyway, Leif Erikson, he reported seeing some huge hairy men who rank of odor, man-like beasts, several sightings. So pretty interesting. And mind you, the Nordic Vikings noted that these guys were hairy. Pretty crazy. Anyway, Alexander the Great, he had some stories of the Yeti that he came across in 326 BC. Very interesting. So, Bigfoot goes way back. So, what is this critter? One possible theory, Bigfoot could be an ape that has gone through adaptation, right? Meaning came two monkeys off of Noah's Ark. So, God made the beast to the earth after its own kind, right? Evolution is stupid. It is a myth. You can chunk it down the well. I don't believe in evolution, because if evolution's true, why haven't hummingbirds learned the words yet, right? You know what I'm saying? It's stupid. Anyway, that's one possible theory, that it's a monkey or an ape that's adapted to its environment. However, there's some difference between humans and monkeys. Monkeys have opposable thumbs. Humans stand and walk upright. Monkeys walk on all four. Monkeys inhabit the trees. And even the Bigfoot prints themselves, right? Right here, this is an ape print, and this is a human print. These are all reported Bigfoot prints right here. This one is actually, these two are pictures I took. This is a third generation cast from the Patterson-Gimlin film. After Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin filmed the footage you're seeing on screen right now, allegedly, this is what I was told at the day I saw this footprint. Allegedly, these guys went over there and made a cast of the prints. And so this is a third generation cast from that. Allegedly, that's the story. Anyway, who cares? Anyway, my point is, Bigfoot prints are human. He often has described as human-like. And right here, bananas and nuts and berries were fed to Bigfoot in Brazil. Bigfoot ate all except the bananas, then escaped. Obviously, monkeys eat way more bananas than humans, because I've seen a monkey eat a banana. I've never seen a monkey eat a human. But anyway, now that one's not really legit. I may or may not have just put that in there for the joke. Anyway, Genesis 3:15. I will put enmity between thee and the woman, between thy seed and her seed. There are two seeds right there. It shall bruise thy head, thou shalt bruise his heel. So these two seeds are acknowledged, Genesis 3:15. Genesis 6:4, they come together and create the Nephilim. You can look way into the Nephilim, it just gets unbelievably confusing. But let me tell you, one thing is for sure, there were giant people on this earth, 100%. 2 Samuel 21:20 talks about 6 fingers, 6 toes, these giants having 6 fingers and 6 toes. And there's a lot of archaeological evidence to support this. Giants with 6 fingers, 6 toes. We got 6 fingers here, 6 fingers here. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot there. There were giants in the earth in those days. What are those days? The days before the flood. And also after that. After the flood. Somehow, they survived the flood. I have no idea how this is possible. I have studied. There's a few theories, all of which are really, really bizarre. I won't get into them right now. I even asked the Dr. Dino. And here's what he had to say.
A couple more here real quick. The out there creationist. I like that. How did the Nephilim survive the flood? Out there, creationist. I wish I understood about the Nephilim. I've read on it till my brain hurts, and I've decided I don't know. The sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and took them wives of all which they chose. Genesis chapter 6. And it says they had giants in the earth in those days, or they had children. The same became mighty men of renown. I don't have an answer. Wish I did. If you find out, let me know.
So yeah, I don't know. I have no clue how they survived the flood. Nonetheless, the fact is, they did. Which begs the question, are the descendants of a Nephilim still alive today? I think they are. We just call them Bigfoot. Let me explain. So, if Bigfoots are descendants of Nephilim, what would we see? We would see half human and half angel DNA. That is exactly what we see. These are from secular sources. They'll say primate because they're evolutionary based. But half human, half unidentified primates. They don't, there's part human, but the other part they have no clue. It's unidentified. Interesting. I mentioned 6 fingers, 6 toes. There are some accounts of Bigfoot with 6 fingers, 6 toes. Not many, but some. Very interesting. Also, the DNA mixing together would cause a lot of genetic goofies. So I think there's some reports of Bigfoot looking like he has Down syndrome. So I don't know. Maybe that has something to do with it. Whatever it is, it runs in the genes. 6 fingers runs in the genes. Genetic goofies run in the genes. Diarrhea runs in the genes. If you don't get there quick enough, constipation doesn't. Okay, I may or may not have said that joke already. I don't care. So, Bauman, utterly unnerved, believing the creature which he had just had to deal with was either half human or half devil. Interesting. These things are half fallen angel. They are not of God. I'm going to pull up a video right now. This will be the first link in the description. I'm not going to show the whole video right now. I'm going to cut it up in editing to the main points. But Sara Brown sums it up really, really well to show these things are definitely not of God. So let me get there real quick. Here we go.
They're a hybrid created by they're not of God. That's all I can, say. They're not of God. They're a hybrid. I don't know what their purpose is. The mitochondrial DNA, I'm not going to pretend to know this stuff, but this little part I do get, and you'll get it too. The mitochondrial DNA is 100% human on the mother's side. 100%. It's the father's side that is unknown. It matches nothing in the genome bank. I guess it has markings in the blood. I don't know what that means. Sharon Gilbert, who you recommended, is going to look at it, but she called it angelic.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think that kind of bitter, because the Bigfoot community is anti-Nephilim theory, and because it makes the most sense. So
right.
It's just anything that takes God out of the picture is mainstream, but unfortunately it's all there. It makes the most sense. You want answers for these giant skeletons. Well, I can show you where those answers are. You can't find it in anything else that is as accurately lined up as the word. And I think it's awesome. A lot of people think that they're the fallen ones. I don't think that. And of course I could be wrong. I think that they're a creation, a hybrid creation. Any of the Indian tribes that are believers believe that they're also a hybrid creation or descendants of Cain. If you Google Bigfoot Zapped, you'll come across countless stories of this. The other believer I know is my friend Toby, who I showed you this footprint. He was with a group of 5 others. There was a woman and 5 men. Daylight. All 5 of the guys could not move. They were completely paralyzed. A few of them were salivating. I'm not sure if it was all of the guys or what. At least a few of them were seeing what looked like, he described it as a clear jello wall. They felt like the malevolent being or whatever was around them was telling them to disarm themselves and go into the jello wall. The woman was praying against it. One of the big guys was so shaken up from it, they had to carry him out. This happens all of the time. There's a lot of reports of a loss of time.
Oh, wow.
My friend, yeah, which isn't nearly as common as being zapped. My friend Wes and Woody they're brothers. They have a podcast called Sasquatch Chronicles, and their encounter involved either a 3 or 4 hour loss of time. They attribute it to fear. And a lot of Bigfooters do say, oh, when you're really scared, that can happen. You lose track of time. Maybe 20 minutes, but I can't see 4 hours going away. One of the Sasquatch, this is one of the creepiest encounters. One of them collapsed like an umbrella and then started crawling around on its fingers like this, on its knuckles.
Ooh.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah.
Bigfooters have come out of being zapped from the name of Jesus. But you got to understand the power. You've got to understand the power of the name and the power of the blood, or it means nothing.
Yeah.
You got to know. You're covered. You're covered if you know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and it's the same with sleep paralysis, and that one I can attest to personally. Is that's the only thing that has ever stopped it is any kind of spiritual attack is the name of Jesus.
So yeah, there we go. Very interesting and informative video. Bigfoot very often is in the woods, right? He's out there in the woods doing something, who knows what, who cares? I don't know. Nonetheless, go to Bible Gateway and just look up groves. Groves or woods is never shown in like a good way. It's always like a sacrifice or a false god being put up there. It's always a demonic way, which is very interesting. Topic number 2. We're not covering just Bigfoot in this video. I also want to look at the Cynocephaly. So Cynocephaly is dog-headed men. Cynocephaly comes from the Greek words kaino and kepheli, which is kaino is dog, kepheli is head. I think I pronounced those correctly, which means dog head. So dog-headed man, Cynocephaly. There's two, as far as I'm aware of, two Egyptian gods that are literally Cynocephaly. Saint Christopher, accounts from Eastern Orthodox Church, recorded Saint Christopher as a cynocephalus until he met the Christ. And then he got baptized, received the head of a human, became one of the military saints. That's how the story goes. Interesting. So, Cynocephaly. Herodotus records of these creatures. In that country, there are huge snakes and lions, and dog-headed, and the headless men. This guy right here, this is a headless man. This is what he means by headless men. This is an akephali. These guys I have no idea about. These guys just... I've tried to think where on earth these guys could come from. I have no idea. Anyway, we're focusing on Cynocephaly right now. So dog-headed men recorded by Herodotus. St. Augustine of Hippo mentions it more than once in the City of God, actually. Marco Polo talks about these guys. There's also accounts recorded by Christopher Columbus, Alexander the Great, Tacius, Paul the Deacon. I don't know how to pronounce those guys' names. In Revelation, it mentions, for without are dogs and sorcerers, whoremongers, murderers, idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. This offers a pretty strong stance on dogs viewed in the Bible. This website summed it up really well, tellingly the only animal specifically called out by St. John in his revelations for the exclusion from heaven is the dog. In fact, the term dog or dog's head is used mostly as an insult in the Bible for disapproval, humiliation, or outcast, or anything like that. Really weird. Again, I'll show you right now, Bible Gateway. You look up dog, same exact thing. There's always a negative view on that. It's really weird. Interesting. These things existed. Christopher Columbus found these guys on the island of Cannaba. They eat men, which is where the word cannibal comes from. Always in the gray areas of the map, away from civilization. I think there are still some left today. Oh, how'd that get in there? These guys, although they're just as ungodly. Even today, there are still plenty of sightings of dogmen. Michigan Dogman, Beast of Bray Road, werewolves like Loch Ness Monster. That's Scotland, right? Bigfoot, that's kind of North America. Michigan's is a Michigan Dogman. Mermaids, Christopher Columbus, he also reported seeing some mermaids. Really weird. There is in Zimbabwe. This is really, just look up Mermaids Zimbabwe in Google. There's so many mermaid sightings in Zimbabwe. The Gokaway Dam is a dam that was under construction. And then there were local workers that worked on it, and they kept seeing mermaids in the water. So they're like, nope, we're not doing this, we're done here. And they left. Like, okay, well, let's hire some foreign workers. So they got some white guys in there working. The same thing happened. They're like, nope, there's mermaids out there, we're leaving. The dam's still unfinished today. So how did all these critters come to be? Well, like I mentioned, the sons of God came to the daughters of men. I think, now this is just a theory that I had. I said, I think maybe they went as low as bestiality and successfully reproduced offspring, like these critters here. Just like they successfully reproduced offspring with humans, I don't see why they couldn't successfully reproduce with aminals as well. So I think they went as low as bestiality. And I found out it talks about this in the book of Enoch, which is interesting. The giants turned against them in order to devour men, began to sin against the birds, animals, reptiles, and fish. They devoured one another's flesh, drank the blood from it, cannibals, right? Then the earth complained about the lawless ones. Very interesting. I think this is what happened. Now, I don't know 100% sure, and we will find out on Judgment Day. But for now, it's interesting to think about and fun to speculate. But that's really about it. Just a theory, definitely falls in line. But hey, if you think of anything else to add or take away from this, let me know. Otherwise, have a good day and go in God's peace.